So hello and welcome everybody once again. I think in this episode I'd like to cover called steep turns. And these are handy to have and be able to do, especially when you're approaching emergency procedures or something like that, which we'll cover. But for now, let's start with learning how to do a steep turn. And these are difficult. Even I'm having trouble with them. So this video is actually going to be more of a compilation because I've done them already. I've recorded them, and some are absolutely atrocious, and some are actually pretty good. And so I didn't want you to sit through a whole ton of really bad maneuvers just to see a couple of good ones. So I'm going to kind of patch them together. It's not going to be a straight run through that I like to normally do. I apologize for that, but I just hope it makes it better for you in the long run. But yeah, so about steep turns. We would, normally for a steep turn, we'd do our clearing turns. You've seen me do those before. So you kind of know what those are. For this maneuver, steep turn, we want our altitude to be a minimum 1,500 feet. I'm trying to stick around 2,500 here. And then we want to pick a reference point somewhere on the horizon that we'll be able to visually see, as well as looking at our heading indicator. So we're going to kind of reference both because we're going to be kind of shifting eyes from inside to outside to try to maintain this. So in this case, since I've already done them, but I've been picking these mountains out here, more so this one, as my reference point visually through the window. And of course, heading of 3-3 for the most part. I think I did some 3-2, but nonetheless. So you give the reference point out the window that is on your current heading, so you have that sight picture of, okay, I see it, I need to roll out on that, and you'll be roughly at the right heading. I'm not sure if I mentioned in any other clip in here, but when you roll out, the general rule of thumb is whatever your bank angle is, you half that, so cut it in half, and that's how many degrees away from your heading, your desired heading, that you start to roll out to level again. So that we got a reference point. I just gave you some of that. The power is going to be about 2,300 RPM. We're going to maintain about 90 knots. 90 to 95 is okay at a 152, and we don't want to go above 95 because that's your max maneuvering speed. And then you probably during the turn going to have a slight power increase to help maintain altitude. And we have tolerances for this maneuver just like any other. And the idea for passing criteria really is we want to maintain our heading upon rolling out back to level within plus or minus 10 degrees of the heading we started on when we started the turn. Our altitude, we want to remain plus or minus 100 feet of our starting altitude throughout the entire maneuver. So we don't, in the case of 2,500 feet here, we don't want to go above 2,600 or below 2,400 at any point during the maneuver, including on rollout and leveling off. And our airspeed, we're going to want to stay plus or minus 10 knots of our entry airspeed. But again, we really don't want to go over 95 because that's the max maneuvering speed. So that's why I try to stick around 90, but 95 is okay. And then take a notch of throttle out here, just a little bit. So we're going to keep climbing. And then our bank angle is going to be 45 degrees. So let me take you inside here a little bit, and we'll talk about the bank angle. For those of you that don't know, these markings on here are your bank angle. And it starts here at 0. And the first few on this particular plane anyway are increments of 10. So there's 10 degrees of bank on this line right here. Then 20 degrees of bank. This is 30 degrees of bank, which is your standard rate. That's why it's a bigger tick on there. But then you notice there's no more little ones because you don't really go past standard normally. Steep turn is this one here. That's 45 degree bank. Okay? And of course on the horizon, that's your 90 degree bank. We don't hardly ever get to that. I think 60 degrees is the most we'd ever get to, even in emergency situations. But even then, 45 can sometimes be fine. And the same thing applies on the right side. So there's 0, so there's 10 degrees bank to the right, 20 degrees bank to the right, 30 degrees bank to the right, standard rate right turn there, and 45 degrees and 90 degrees. So that's how you're going to gauge how many degrees you're actually turning. So For 30 degrees, you take this big mark and you put it up here in the orange. Or 45, take this mark, put it up here in the orange, and you do that by turning. Anyways, like I said, this is going to be a bit of a compilation video. I don't think there's a whole lot more I can do as an intro to this. So I hope you enjoy it. I hope you get some use out of it. And again, I apologize. It's more of a compilation, but I just didn't want you to sit through a whole bunch of stuff like you've already done for this lead up. So let's get right to it, and we'll go through the clips, and I'll catch you on the other side. Okay, so we're just about at 2,500 feet. Trimmed out fairly well, heading at 320, just a little over 90 knots here. We've got our mountain out in the distance here. It's going to be our reference point for this steep turn. We'll do this one to the left, and then see if we can make it a little bit cleaner. We'll see. All right, here we go. To the left at 45 degrees. Hold the nose up. Don't want to climb per se, don't want to sink. 340, we'll start rolling out. There we go. To land back on 320. Just overshot it a little, but within 10 degrees at the 310, so that's okay. Altitude's looking pretty good. We didn't descend or climb too much. And the speed looked like it stayed. So that was a bit cleaner. Now, I do find it's a little harder in the sim than in the real plane because you don't have the seat of the pants feel. Because past 30 degrees of bank, you're actually putting extra load on the plane, and you're gonna feel the G's actually. It's gonna be at least like 40% more weight of your body into the seat than you would in like normal straight and level flight. And in the simulator, you don't have that feeling, and that it's also using that G feeling is it helps you determine if you've got enough back pressure on the yoke as well. So I do find it's a little more difficult to do in a sim than in the real plane, just because of that whole lack of feeling. It's just another sense you have when you're in the aircraft. So if you can do it here, you'll be able to do it in the real thing, obviously with an instructor. Again, I'm not an instructor, but you know, do it with an instructor, and you'll get that sense of you know, being pushed into the seat. It's a pretty neat feeling. Nudge the nose down. There's the mountain. We're at 320. One more left turn. 45 degrees. A little bit of rudder to help the turn. Try to keep the horizon at that attitude. Oh, we're climbing a little, but that's it happens fast. Try to maintain that 45. And we're coming around. Speed's not dropping too much. We're descending quite a bit there. Oh, we're doing all right. 3-4. Start the rollout to 3-2. And again, overshot. I went a little past 3-1. All right, so let's try that one more time. We're at 2,500 feet. Pretty level. About 90 knots. Heading is... Let's get back on... Well, yeah, let's do 3-3. Since we're pretty much there already. And the mountain's more in front of us on 3-3. Okay. So at this point, we're going to roll out half our bank angle, which is 45. So half of that's about 22. So about 20 degrees, 20 to 25 degrees when I start rolling out. So that would be... so let's see, we're at 3-3, we got 3-4, 3-5-0. So just past north when we come around again. As we turn this way, just about past north, we're going to start leveling out our bank. Okay, mountains ahead of us. We are level, we are good. And a little bank to the 45, a little bit of rudder to help it out. Back on the yoke. We don't want to climb or descend too much. A little extra back pressure, maintain the speed as we can. About 90. There we go. We're heading it east. We should have our landmark coming up soon. And there's north, start rolling out. And there's our mountain. And boom. And that was actually a pretty good one. Excellent. So now let's try it to the right. See if we can do the same for the right-hand turn. We're at about 2,500 feet on a heading of about 3-3. And we're going to do 45-degree bank to the right, try to maintain our altitude and meet our other criteria. And see how it goes. And a little bit of rudder, bank to 45 to the right, pull back on the nose, add a little extra power here, just to try to maintain our altitude. We're coming around okay. There's west, and start rolling out for 3-3. A little bit of forward pressure so we don't climb. Oh, look at that. Not bad. We might have busted the 80 a little bit. The airspeed, rather. Gotten down to 80, but the altitude is pretty good. Let's get our speed back up. And we'll try that one more time. We're about 2,500 feet on a heading of 330 and about 90-95. And let's see if we can do a clean one. And to the right with a bit of rudder. Get to that 45. Pull the nose back, add some power. Don't want to bank too much. Try to maintain around 2,500 feet. Watch our heading. There we go. 3-3. Oh, I didn't bank out soon enough. And just caught it at 3-4. All right, still sloppy, but that actually wasn't too bad. You get the idea. I mean, it's a lot harder than it looks. So try that out. See what you think. And once again, thank you for joining me. As you can see, that was the end of the compilation of turns and clips I made. We're now much further ahead toward the mountain. But again, this is unusual. I don't like doing videos like that. I like to have them uncut and real. These are pretty difficult, but I definitely appreciate your time. I do hope you enjoyed it. I do hope you learned something or you find it useful. And we'll keep going and make some more. In the meantime, enjoy, have fun trying these, lots of practice, and we'll catch you in the next one. Take care.